If you're stuck, it only takes 8 days to get unstuck. Day 1. Stop punching yourself in the face. I'm sure you already spent plenty of time wallowing in self-pity. Beating yourself up a few more times today isn't going to change anything. When you screw up, your natural reaction is to chew yourself out, right? Instead, imagine a tiny little kid, your little brother if you have one. You see him there looking up at you timidly, tugging on your pant leg with a tear in his eye, saying, "I'm sorry, I screwed up." You can see he's already scared and frustrated. Best thing to do now is to give him a hug and tell him, "No worries, little buddy. You tried your best. We'll do better next time." Stop pressing the gas pedal when the engine's fried. Instead, empty today's calendar. Rid yourself of expectation, of obligation. Float in an empty void of peaceful nothingness. Today, your only job is to switch off, to relax with intention, to do so without guilt. Guilt is not a particularly effective motivator. You think he's on your side, but all he does is poison the water. Because of guilt, you can't relax, so you never recover. And since you never recover, you do even less, which then creates even more guilt. A vicious cycle forever trapping you in this rut. Day 2. Get out of the cage. Your life has become a prison. You think you're free, but when you look at all the choices you've made, are you really? Because when your days all start to look the same, when you can't even tell one week from another because it all blends together, that's a problem. If the only thing that's happened in your life in the past few months is you mustering up the courage to try some premium ultra soft toilet paper, you know, the one with the stupid bears shitting in the forest, yeah, that's a big problem. You know who else has that problem? A hamster trapped in a cage. No one's forcing the hamster to do anything, and yet guided by some invisible hand, into that hamster wheel this adorably fat little blob goes, running and running but going nowhere at all. If this circle represents the sum total of all human experience and possibility, your experience is just this stupid tiny dot. Can you even see it? Even that fat little hamster is doing more than you. At least he's getting exercise in his little hamster wheel, while you sit there stuffing your face with nachos and cheese balls. Your goal for today is thus simple. Get out of that prison, your room, your apartment, your cardboard box, wherever you spend the most of your time. Because the clutter, the filth, the monotony of it all, it's just poison infecting the mind. Those cues and triggers subconsciously lulling you into the same old habits, the same patterns that got you into this funk today. And when you're in a funk, you naturally do what? You close off. You hide at home, in your room, the place where the majority of your time is spent in that funk. Deeper into the same prison that started it all. Just like guilt, you trap yourself exactly where you don't want to be. Yet another negative feedback cycle. That's why you must go somewhere you've never been to before, free of prior associations. Like a happy cow, let your brain stretch and roam in a green meadow of possibility. With a fresh slate, you give your brain the best chance of new thought patterns. There's a famous puzzle known as the Dunker candle problem. You're given a candle, matches, and some tacks, and you're supposed to figure out how to fix the candle onto the wall without the wax dripping to the floor. According to research at Northwestern University, those who have lived abroad were more likely to solve the problem. Even recalling memories of living abroad significantly increased creativity. Did you figure out how to do it? You're supposed to tack the box onto the wall and have the candle sit inside of it. See, if you were living abroad in some random forest, you probably would have figured it out. Okay, fine. Maybe you don't have a private jet waiting to whisk you away. That's okay. Do the next best thing. Open up Google Maps, point to a random spot, and start heading that way to jumpstart your brain's creative juices. There's this local road outside my place, right? I've driven on it a million times, but the other day, I simply hoofed it. And wow, the experience was completely different. My brain quite literally felt more alive. With all 5 senses being engaged, I was able to notice the tiny little details I never would have seen before. Because it's not really the Dunker candle problem you actually want to solve, right? It's the Dunker my life sucks problem you actually need a solution for. Day 3. Destroy the cage. Now that you've had an entire day away from that cage, it's time to go back and tear it down completely. Destroy the environment, and you destroy the associations tying you to those bad habits. I'm not just talking about some minor spring cleaning. I'm talking about making your entire environment unrecognizable. So different, your brain thinks you're literally living somewhere new. Throw out all the crap you don't need. Rearrange your furniture, put up new posters, add a few plants, kick out a few roommates. Rethink everything. I challenge you to throw away 100 things today. That sounds like a lot, but how many separate things do you actually own? Have you ever stopped to actually count? I did. I'm in the process of moving, and it's literally thousands upon thousands of random stuff I'm probably never going to use. I mean, look at these boxes. I'm like, what is all this stuff? If this entire box just disappeared, would I even know? Day 4. Make your life miserable. You have become numb to the pleasures of life. Like a drug addict, your dopamine receptors are completely fried. The convenience and pleasures of modern life would have tickled our ancestors silly, and yet you don't even bat an eye. If you were able to watch this video, your life is probably undoubtedly already incredibly amazing. You can get almost anything you want at a touch of a button. Food, companionship, transportation. We can talk to and see virtually any human being on Earth in literally seconds. We have magic rooms in our homes where we can create rain on command, fire on command. We've even tamed lightning to power the millions of gadgets and gizmos in our homes, like this magic rectangular box, for example. We figured out how to trap old man winter inside just so we can have ice cream year round. And that's just scratching the surface. You want to learn something or change your life? Great. The sum total of all human knowledge is at your fingertips. Literally. Not even Mansa Musa, the richest man in entire human history, could even imagine or experience the kind of luxuries you currently enjoy today on a daily basis. And you don't even care. You think your life sucks. That's how desensitized you are. It's not your fault though. No matter what happens in life, your pleasure, your happiness, it all eventually reverts back to the mean. New car smell eventually always becomes old car smell. This is something called the hedonic treadmill. People think the solution to the problem is to run harder, to accumulate more things, to buy bigger houses and fancier cars. They waste their entire lives doing this until they realize, holy crap, this literally never ends. I have everything and yet I'm still unhappy. Guess what? It's much easier to live a few days without your yacht than it is to get a bigger yacht. Solution to the hedonic treadmill is to do the exact opposite, to intentionally suffer. I remember taking a trip to the base of the Himalayas in the dead of night. I had to take a dump, and of course, there's no toilet anywhere to be found. I'm shivering because it's freezing cold, and the wind is howling and swirling around my naked ass cheeks as I'm squatting in some random patch of dirt, trying to squeeze one out. It didn't help I'd eaten like crap the days before this trip, so of course, I was constipated. I don't know if my legs froze from the cold or the cramping, trying not to fall into the little hole I had dug. But either way, wow, the next time I used a toilet, I was probably quite literally the happiest man alive. You don't have to go to the Himalayas to recreate this experience. Today, instead of hot showers, take cold showers. Instead of that delicious steak dinner, eat cold canned beans and Spam. Instead of mindlessly scrolling on your phone, stare at the wall. Do this for a few hours, and even the user's manual for your vacuum cleaner suddenly becomes exciting to read. Day 5. Shock the system. Today is the day you do something you never would have done before. Today, you challenge your very core identity. If you're not the kind of person to take a dance class, well, today is that day. Think of it this way. If someone would be surprised to hear you doing that thing, you know you're getting warmer. If imagining that activity makes you anxious, you're getting even warmer. Day 2 was about getting out of your physical cage, right? Well, day 5 is about getting out of your figurative cage, your mental cage. We all put limits on ourselves, unspoken, arbitrary rules. I can't do this. I'm not allowed to do that. Who says you can? Screw your rules, screw convention. Go to a park and scream at the top of your lungs today if you have to. Break all the rules. Do something completely not you. Become unrecognizable. Because the old you is the stuck you, and you are building a new you. Day 6. Destroy your routine. Day 3 is about destroying your physical cage. Day 6 is about destroying your mental one. Starting today, you are going to build something fresh. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, you are going to build a new life. One where you take back control and intentionally choose what happens. In your old routine, your old self used to eat on this side of the table. Destroy it. Your new self eats now on the other side. You used to sleep facing this way. Not anymore. You now face the other way. Examine every single facet of your life and do it differently. Take a different path to work, start eating different foods, build new experiences even in the smallest of ways. Brush with your other hand, make love with your other hand. Borrow your neighbor's car, borrow your neighbor's wife. Look at everything from the lens of a newborn baby. You are waking up to a new life and seeing everything for the first time. Be curious about everything. Why do you do the things you do? Why do you do them in the way you do? Maybe you don't have to do it in that way. Maybe let's try it another way. This is exciting because you're giving yourself a blank slate, permission to redo and rethink everything about yourself and your life. Day 7. Build the most fundamental habit system ever. Capitalize on your momentum and start solidifying your next steps. Lock in the 3 most fundamental habits of life: sleep, nutrition, and exercise, using the simplest habit system ever. 3 fundamental habits anchored to 3 things you do every single day already. I personally recommend the morning, lunch, night method. Concept is simple. Drink a glass of water the moment you get out of bed. Do 10 push-ups right before lunch and meditate at night right before sleep. Simple and doable. 3 habits that should start changing your brain chemistry for the better to make you feel good. You're flushing out your kidneys, getting a boost of endorphins in the middle of the day, and meditating so you calm your mind right before bed. This is the start of your non-negotiable list of life actions. This is just level 1. Over time, your list will only grow as you stack more habits. And furthermore, you'll find other more creative methods to anchor your habit. My other favorite habit anchor is to always knock out 10 push-ups anytime I use the bathroom. If this is the 5th round of push-ups, as I blast another 10, I tell myself, today I evolve to level 5. By the time night rolls around, I naturally evolve to level 10, my final form. This is how I ensure 100 push-ups a day is as effortless as literally going to the bathroom. This is just scratching the surface, by the way. If you want a deeper dive on how to create the truly perfect habit system and become unstoppable, I talk about it here in this video. Day 8. Lock in. To lock in your progress, you need a buddy, someone to hold you accountable. It's harder to go to the gym by yourself, but much easier when you know your friend is there waiting for you. And so, your challenge today is to find that someone. In fact, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Call someone you haven't talked to and catch up. Be honest with them and tell them about your journey. Ask them if it's okay for you to text them every day for the next 7 days with your progress with whatever project you're working on. Most people will be delighted to be that person for you and honored to be part of your journey. When you miss a day, you have to explain to them why you chickened out. To make it really interesting, put some real money on the line. For every day you miss a task, you Venmo this dude 10 bucks. That dude's gonna for sure want to know whether or not you've been hitting your goals. Why not have an accountability buddy for every single project in your life? Even better if they're on the same journey as you are. If that sounds tricky to figure out, don't worry, I got you covered. Join the Spoon-Fed Crew, our very own homegrown community where we do things exactly like this. Let me get you that exact accountability buddy you need. Speaking of which, we just concluded season 1. If you want to join us in season 2, this is your chance. Email me and get put on that waitlist. Links in the description for my Substack and Patreon. Smell you later.